So hi again to all the people who are joining us. My name is Mona. I think in this list that I can see, I know everyone. And I'm very happy that we're spending the next hour or so together. You can, as long as you can hear me, we don't need to have, you don't need to have your camera on, or you don't need to have your audio on for now. Later on, you can always type your questions in the chat box. I will keep checking the chat box. And if you can't hear me at any point, just let me know. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of my background and my personal story before we start the presentation. And by then, hopefully others have joined as well. My name is Mana Tawassoli. I'm the founder of Mompreneurs Middle East, and I am welcome to Sofine. Awesome. I am a serial entrepreneur, and I'm a mother of two gorgeous boys, Ryan and Darian. And at this point in my life, I'm really enjoying different roles that I have, but it wasn't always like this. To be honest with you, there was a point in my life in February 2013 that my business and my boy, my Ryan, they were both 2 years old, and life was really a mess. That's the word that I can use. It was really overwhelming. I was trying to find balance between all of my roles as a new mother, as an entrepreneur. And to be honest with you, I forgot about myself. I forgot about my needs as a person. And it was one of the networking events that I went, and there was a super coach there. She asked us, write 5 things that you're going to do this weekend, which are fun and they're for yourself. And 4 years ago, I could not find a single thing that I could think of that it was fun and I would do it that weekend. And that was kind of a wake-up call for me that, yes, I have my own business, I have my family, I am a mom, everything looks like a dream, but the feeling is not quite right. The feeling of success is not what I'm having now. It shouldn't feel like this. I shouldn't be this overwhelmed and stressed. And that was a time exactly 4 years ago that I decided to take on this journey of what I call a journey of self-mastery, to be able to not only manage my time, but manage myself, to try to find balance between all of these different roles that I have as an entrepreneur and as a mom. And it took me a couple of years. I went to Tony Robbins in London. I did my NLP, which was a great help. I worked with many, many coaches. And it was in 2014 that I was achieving a lot in my life. And after my second son, Darian, was born in 2015, April 2015, I took a journey of spirituality and more of an inner world to realize what is my mission in life. Why am I here? It's not only about me. There's something bigger than me, and that's the reason that I'm here. So 2015 took me to the journey of spirituality and my inner world. And at some point, they all clicked. At some point, I realized that my external world and everything that I had and my internal world and spirituality, they matched at some point. That was the time I wanted to pay it forward. I promised myself to share my learnings and my findings with my people that I know and fellow mothers, parents, fathers, whoever that is on a mission to find that balance in their life. So that is the reason we took a workshop together, and everything that I learned from Tony Robbins and my NLP to Eckhart Tolle and spirituality, and I put them all together into a 2-day workshop. And today's webinar is a review of that workshop that we will go through together. Sorry, I just came back from South Africa. There was a leadership conference with Vital Voices, and I met 52 amazing women from all around the world. The only thing which was not positive is that it was winter in South Africa, and I went from 40-degree of Dubai weather to the middle of winter in South Africa. So I caught a cold, and I apologize in advance for for my voice if it's not clear. But honestly, I met ladies that the things that they're doing in the world, this is not part of my presentation, but I want to share with you. One of the African ladies, she was telling us that she had to choose between buying a bread for her family and buying data to go online and watch webinars. And she was not a stranger. She was sitting with us at the same table and she was having dinner with us. And when she shared that, it somehow changed my perspective that what are we complaining about and what are the challenges that other people have in different parts of the world. I met a lady who is working with people who are deaf, and they prepare a workplace for them so they can have a normal life. Children who have never seen anything new in their life. So the journey, the 1 week was really emotional because I was seeing all of these women, different part of the world. I was the only one from the Middle East, that they're trying to do different things and trying to make a change and create a movement in the world. I'm very grateful for this moment. I'm very grateful for everything that we have in our life, and really grateful to have you on this journey. So I'm going to share the presentation with you now. I don't know if you can still see me. Let me just give me a second. Let me share my screen with you. And I have to say that this is the first time we're using Zoom. So apologies for my voice and for all of the technology, the technical problems that might come up. Can you see me, Saman?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, perfect. So that's awesome. So today I want to talk about 3 main topics which are really close to my heart, and they helped me to make huge changes in my life. One is about energy optimization, one is about time management, and about goal setting. But before we start, we are going to define what does have it all mean. What does this sentence mean? Does it mean that we're perfect moms, we're perfect dads, we have passive income, all of our financial challenges are solved? Does it mean that we have the most successful business? What does having it all mean? And then we are going to go into more more information about goal setting, time management, and energy management. So if you can, while you're at home or at your office, just close your eyes for a couple of seconds and imagine a world in which you have it all. Imagine a world where you can sit and say, you know what? I arrived. I have it all. How does that look like? How does that feel? How does it sound? How does it make you feel? That feeling is very important. You can open your eyes. This is a part of a full day workshop. In the full day workshop, we actually sit and we write, what does that world look like to us? I can guarantee that we cannot find 2 people who have the exact same definition, or they have the exact same picture in their mind when we say, how do you define having it all? And yet, we are all influenced by media, by social media, to create that elusive, it's an illusion world in which it's only based on external factors such as money, such as power, beauty. So social media hasn't made it any easier as well. We constantly compare our life with other people, with the filtered picture and amazing picture that we see, for example, on social media. Compare it with our life, which is full of errors, which has lots of ups and downs. And at the end, we are all human beings. And that's what makes us real. But we are constantly comparing our behind the scenes with other people's highlight reel. And then we're wondering that how come they have it all and I haven't reached there yet. So first of all, I have to say that we teach entrepreneurship, and in our entrepreneurship course, financials and finance is something which is very, very important. But what the point that I want to get is that the feeling of having it all is different from one person to another. But there's a quote by Jim Carrey that I absolutely love that says, I think everybody should get rich and famous and do everything they ever dreamed of so they can see that is not the answer. What happens is that a lot of times we're chasing money, we're chasing power, we're chasing beauty. And while we're chasing those, we forget about who we are. We forget about our values. So money, power, beauty, all of those external factors. So there's an illusion that our happiness is based on external factors, which is not the case at all. So all of these external factors, they are means to an end, but they're not a goal themselves. I don't know how many of you have watched the movie Mask. If you haven't watched it, you're much younger than me. But when I was doing some research about Mask, it was actually released in 1994, and that's 20-something years ago. I was a kid when I watched it, so that made me feel a little bit better. But the point for the movie Mask is that if you remember, what Mask was doing was it was magnifying who the person is. It on its own, it meant nothing. But if you are a romantic person, it would make you more romantic. If you are a funny person, it would make you more funny. If you are miserable, it would make you more miserable. And that is exactly what money is in our life. When we have the money, if you are, for example, already healthy and you have a healthier lifestyle, with more money, you can become healthier because you can buy all of those organic foods and you can go to retreats and you can this or that. But the people who win lottery, they don't necessarily become healthy. To the contrary, if you already have an unhealthy life, you might get into excessive drinking and smoking. So if you're already miserable, money, power, beauty can make us more miserable. So they are not the end goal. The point here is that all of these external factors, they can get us to where we want to get, but they are not the destination. So having it all is a feeling. It's completely internal. It's when we are going to sleep at night, we say, I did something good. I achieved something. My life is in line with my values. And we're going to define what does that exactly mean. So having it all, I want you to have that paradigm shift. That doesn't mean that we have everything that we want in our life. To the contrary, it means that we know exactly who we are and which direction we are going to. So there are 3 simple steps that will help us on our journey. One, which again, in the full day workshop, we sit down and do it, but you can take notes and you can do this on your own as well. One thing is, what are our values, what are our priorities, and what are our roles? So at this given time, my values, for example, is my family, is my growth, is the impact that I have in this world, is my well-being and peace, whether it's inner peace or peace in the region and in the world. But it also depends on my roles. My role as a mother is very important at the moment, but maybe 20 years from now, my role as a mom will be secondary. It would not consume that much of time. So we have to identify what are the roles, what are our values, and what are our priorities at this given moment. The second thing is, what is our vision? Because a lot of times we know what we don't want, but we don't know what is it that we want. So if somebody comes and tells you, okay, how's your job? We know that we don't like it because 1, 2, 3, but if they tell us, how can you make it better? We don't have that vision of, this is the ideal job that I want. This is the ideal relationship. This is the ideal family. We haven't defined, a lot of times we haven't defined it exactly, that what is it that we want and not what is it that we don't want. And there are different areas in our life, from our inner self, our health, our family, our relationship, our career, financials, circle of genius, what makes us happy and joyful, and the impact that we want to have in this world. A lot of times we don't have a clear definition of what do we want from each sector of our life. And again, in the full day workshop, these are the things that we work on to make sure that we have that clarity in our life. But again, if you take notes, these are the points that you can sit down, visualize, and identify what is it that you want in your life. If we know our values, we know what exactly we want in life, and on a daily basis, we take positive steps towards our goals, from today, we have that feeling that we are achieving something and become content with ourselves. That discontent happens when our actions and our vision, they are not in line. There's a clash, there's conflict there. Let me give you an example that everybody can relate to. So when you want to lose weight, you know that you want to lose 10 kg. That's the physical aspect that we'll get into when we talk about energy. You know that you want to lose 10 kg, right? If today you decide that I want to lose 10 kg, these are the changes I will have in my lifestyle. I'm going to exercise 1 hour per day. I'm cutting sugar and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. As soon as you know what is your goal, so your value is that you want to be healthier. What is the goal? You want to lose weight. And from today, I'm taking positive actions toward that goal. From today itself, even before arriving, you can feel that you have it all. You can feel that you have achieved it because your actions and your vision, they are not in conflict. If you have any discontent in your life, it happens because the actions that we have and our vision, they are not in line. So let me give you an example. When somebody is driving, the person has the skills of driving, they have the car, so they have the tools, so all the resources are there. But if you don't know where you are going, if we don't know which direction we are going, that's when we get agitated. That's when we get angry. That's when we get stressed because the direction for us is not clear. But if you're sitting in the car, you know exactly where you are going. That journey of getting there, it doesn't need to be frustrating. You can actually enjoy the journey as well, as long as you know that this is the direction that you are taking. And sometimes people, when you tell them, what does having it all mean? They all visualize being at the beach with their mocktail in hand and life is great and there are no challenges. But this is not the definition that we have. Life is meant to be a challenge because it's challenges that make us grow. Imagine that life is like a game. When you're in level 1, the challenges are quite simple. But after some time, you get bored. You say, okay, what is next? When you go to the next level, 3rd level, 4th level, the feeling that you have after going through that level 4 or level 5 and accomplishing that level, it's much nicer than level 1. So we actually welcome challenges in our life because they are the ones that make us grow. I faced many challenges in my life. From the age of 19, when we had some financial challenges, my father got bankrupt, to where any relationship can happen. I have challenges in my marriage. I have challenges with my business that I almost lost. I faced many, many challenges. But at all of them, when they were over, I was stronger. It's those challenges when it felt really uncomfortable, then it was tough. I knew that there are some changes that I need to make in my life and I am ready for the next level. So whenever it gets hard, it just means that we have been raised one level higher and the challenges are different. When I go to body pump, I see that like some people, when they are doing the class with the exercise with the weights, they have, for example, 5 kg underweight. Some people have 30 kg. Some people have 50 kg. The class is the same. It's just people who have practiced more, who are physically more fit, they can carry more weights. And that's exactly in our life as well. Sometimes we see other people who have way more challenges than us, but the way that they handle it is different because mentally, physically, emotionally, they are more fit because they have gone through more challenges. And every time we go through a challenge, we just become stronger. Either we face challenges in life without planning for it, or I remember when I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro in 2014, and the last day really got, the first 5 days was amazing. Anybody can do it. The last day was really tough. And I was telling myself, why am I doing this? You know, it's cold, there's no oxygen, it's dark, and it wasn't fun anymore. The last couple of hours that we started the summit at 12 a.m. I remember in the middle, I wanted to quit. And I said, okay, that's it. You know, I can't do this anymore. And I heard a voice. Well, that's when you become intuitive. That's when one of our main attributes is being able to listen to that inner voice. and intuition is very important. Sometimes our mind is so busy that we forget our inner self. But in that quiet night, I heard my inner voice telling me that if you weren't ready, you wouldn't be here. And that became a message all throughout my life. Whenever I face challenges, I know that I'm facing that challenge because I am ready for it, because I have been given everything, all of the solutions to be able to solve that problem, all of the tools to be able to solve that problem. So if we are facing any challenges in life, they are just there to make us grow. It means that we are one level higher. So having it all at the end of the day is not a destination, but a journey. It's a journey that we can start right now. We can start by the end of this presentation. It's a journey that by identifying our values, our priorities in life, and knowing exactly what is it that we want, and every day taking positive, small steps. But instead of our act not being in conflict with our goal and our values, if we take positive actions every single day, we can have that feeling of having it all. I have a couple of pictures of Kilimanjaro that I wanted to share with you, actually, because I shared this story with you. So the mountain is there. It's a summit. Imagine it as a metaphor for any goal that we have in life, right? Whatever is it that we want to achieve, it's our mountain. That's a metaphor that I have. What's my next mountain? What is my next challenge? And every day was different. Some days we were in the forest, some days we were climbing the mountain, and it was actually really nice the first 5 days. We enjoyed it, the journey, being above the clouds, being in the nature together. And I could see where was the goal. And we were every day taking steps towards that goal of summiting that mountain. We took pictures, we had great times, and I got to the top. For 15 minutes, we were on the top, and then we had to come down. It's like any other goal, you know, you do everything, you get there, but then what is next? What is the next challenge? What is the next mountain? And if we just chase those goals, we are missing a lot in our life, because it's the journey that makes it beautiful. It was a journey of climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. After I was on the top, it was over. I had to come down. But there is a blueprint. Apart from that feeling of what does having it all mean, there's a blueprint to get there. And it takes a lot of time to go through all of these. In the full day workshop, there is a workbook for all of them, from acceptance to ownership in your life, having clarity, identifying your goals, vitality, accountability, achievement, and growth. So there are steps that we have to implement in order to achieve more in our life. But for the sake of this webinar, I'm going to focus on 2 steps, which is our goals and vitality. Let me just check on all of you. As I said, it's the first time that we are here on Zoom. Okay, awesome. Any questions? Perfect. Okay, let's go back to the presentation. So goal setting is one of so we said that when we achieve something, that feeling is what gives us the feeling of having it all. So we need to know how to achieve our goals, because a lot of times we are not content because we know what is it that we want, but we just don't achieve them. And I'm going to take you through a couple of simple steps, but common sense is not common practice. I made it as simple as possible, but if you just take notes of these simple steps and implement them, you will see a huge difference in the way that you achieve your goals. So the first step for you is to identify your SMART goals. What do we mean by SMART? It means that they have to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. So I want to lose weight is not a goal. I want to run marathon is not a goal on its own. I want to write a book is not a goal. I want to have more money is a goal. It's not a SMART goal. Because when you say I want more money, there's an example that universe sometimes plays tricks on us, like they give us 1 dirham or $1. It's more money, and we weren't specific what did we mean by that. Or sometimes when I write my goal, I say, for example, I want 20 clients. sometimes, or 20 partners. I remember for one of my events, I got 20 partners, but I wasn't clear that I want 20 paid partners. So I got partners, but they weren't all paid. So words make a huge difference in our goals. Be as clear as you can when you are setting a goal. So going back to losing weight, which everybody can relate to, I want to weigh 54 kg by July 15, which means I have to lose 5 kg or 4 kg. That's a SMART goal. It's timely. We know we have a month. It has 4 weeks. It's measurable. It's 5 kg. It's very, very specific. I'm going to weigh 54 kg. So any goal that you have, if you want to write a book, I'm writing 45,000 word best-selling book by June, for example, 29th. So each goal that you're putting, make sure that is as specific as can be. It's measurable and it has a deadline. Then see the end result. So I want to write a 45,000 word book, or I want to lose 5 kg. What does that mean in a month time? What does that mean in, so let's say if the goal is 3 months, what does that mean? What do I have to achieve after 1 month? What do I have to achieve after 2 months? So you see the goal and then you plan it backwards. One key element that a lot of people miss is that we have to write when and where we are going to work on our goal every day. Because a lot of times we put these goals, but they are more of a long-term goals. They are not urgent, and we're all addicted to have more stress in our life and do things which are urgent first. We forget about them, you know. It's very, very normal. One thing we have to do is that every week we plan our next week. And we identify everything that is important for us. We put it in our calendar with when and where. Let me see if I can show you my calendar. So this is, for example, I don't know how clear it is, but this is my weekly goal until next Sunday, June 18th. And you block all of those tasks which are important for you in your calendar or in your planner 1 week ahead of time. So if there is a proposal you need to work on, if you have to exercise, if you have to spend time with your family, the things which are important for you, but sometimes you feel that you don't have time for them, 1 week ahead, block those times into your calendar where you're going to do it. So if you're working on a presentation, are you going to a coffee shop? Are you going to your office? If you want to exercise, don't just write exercise. Check the schedule. I know that, for example, I'm going horse riding tomorrow morning at 6, and I know that I'm doing circuit at 6:30 on Thursday. So I know exactly what exercise and where I am doing every week. Again, in the 2-day workshop, this is something that we work together to make sure that you have your weeks planned by the end of the workshop. But it's a practice that I highly recommend you to do, because when it is in your, if it's not scheduled, it will not be done. Say no and be proud of it. And what do I mean by that? A lot of times, especially women, if somebody asks us something, we feel that we have to say yes immediately. But the truth is that with every yes, we are automatically saying no to a goal that is in line with our own vision. So be very careful with your yes whenever that you're saying it. If you are used to it and it's like a habit, just buy time for yourself. That let me check my schedule, I'll get back to you. Here, I don't mean that we don't help others. The whole reason I put the whole workshop together, it's my vision to empower and help other people. So that is one of my values. But we can't pour from an empty cup. It is very important that in our life, we take care of ourselves first. There's a difference between a candle and a light or a bulb. A candle, at some point, you burned out, you're done. But if you are energizing yourself all the time, like a lamp, like a bulb, you can continue giving your light to other people. So always remember to take care of yourself, to take care of your own vision, to take care of your own goals, so you are empowered to be able to empower other people. Visualization is something that a lot of times we haven't practiced in our school. Our school system is very much left brain, systematic, logical kind of education, at least a lot of countries in the Middle East. we forget about the power of our right brain, of our creativity, visualization. It's very important to train our mind and visualize what is it that we want in life for a couple of minutes every day. Challenges happen along the way, and that's where successful people and unsuccessful people, they differentiate. Unsuccessful people, with the first challenge, they are done. They don't continue anymore. But you have to be persistent. If there's one characteristic of successful people, is that they are persistent. They don't give up, and they go until they achieve their goal. And celebrate whenever you achieve any milestone. So if you're losing weight and you lost already 2 kg, celebrate it. Not with a chocolate cake, but celebrate it. Celebrate those occasions in your life. Our mind loves to celebrate different occasions. So these are a couple of simple steps that I want you to do. Today's Tuesday. You can dedicate 2 hours of your Thursday afternoon, your Friday, or your Saturday to plan your next week and put everything, all of your goals into your calendar. Another important thing, a lot of times I hear, especially from moms, is that we don't have enough time. But then I see a lot of people that achieve fabulous things in their life within the same 24 hours. And why is that? Then I studied, if you haven't read the book of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, I highly recommend you to read it. Habit 3 is about first things first. And he talks about the time management matrix that I want to share with you here. I mentioned this before, but all of these topics are like 2 hours on the full day workshop, and just giving you a glimpse of it. But, you know, as much as you can implement even these simple steps. He has even another book called First Things First, only based on Habit 3, which is a time management matrix that I want to share with you. What Stephen Covey mentions, that anything that we do in life, any actions that we have in our life, they fall under 4 quadrants. And quadrant 1 are the things which are urgent and they are important. A lot of us who are working parents and entrepreneurs or business owners or employees, we spend a lot of our time in this quadrant. And honestly, we are kind of addicted to it. So that addiction of if our life is not too busy, it means that we are not that important, or we are not performing well. It's changing a lot, you know, with the new researches that are coming out. Slowing down, you can perform better. But at this, especially in busy cities like Dubai, like New York, Paris, a lot of people, they spend a lot of their time in quadrant 1. And that's when we feel stressed, we feel burned out, because everything is important and they're urgent. Quadrant 3 are the things which seem to be urgent, but they're not that important. So as soon as you're trying to finish that proposal and there is an email that comes that you feel an urgency to answer, there is a message on our mobile phones, and there's a phone call. So we are trying to focus on something which is important to us, but all of a sudden we get distracted. Those are the things which are quadrant 3. And a lot of times the way we differentiate it is that the quadrant 3 tasks are in line with somebody else's goals or visions, not ours. And they're more of a distraction for us. Quadrant 4 usually is the result of spending a lot of time in quadrant 1, that our mind says, you know what? I don't want to do anything else. I just want to sit on this sofa and I want to watch this TV show for 4 hours every day, because I have done so much during the day. So by spending a lot of our time in quadrant 1, when we are busy and burned out, automatically we want to spend some time on social media, in front of TV, just to numb our mind, just to not think of anything. Quadrant 2 is the most important quadrant, that if we manage it properly, then we don't have to spend a lot of time in other quadrants. Quadrant 3, one of the characteristics of quadrant 3 are those days that we are so busy. At the end of the day, if we ask ourselves, what did I do? We don't know the answer. They're like, I was really busy, but I didn't achieve anything. We were busy doing things which were not important. So quadrant 2 are the things which are prevention. They are the relationship building. They are working on our proposals, on our long term, on our relationships. They are more often planning. And when we spend enough time in quadrant 2, the number of quadrant 1 will be always there. There will be always crisis. There will be always problems, last minute things. But instead of spending 80% of our time, if we plan them properly, we can spend 15% of our time in quadrant 1. So it's really about managing our time properly. Honestly, it's not about managing our time, because we all have that 24-hour. It's about managing ourselves better. So quadrant 2 activities are those that we want to focus on. Quadrant 1 activities are activities that we want to manage better by spending more time on quadrant 2. Quadrant 3 activities are the ones that we can delegate. They don't need our attention all the time. If you can delegate it to other people, that's the best way to deal with quadrant 3. And quadrant 4 is avoid as much as you can. So if, yes, the fun has to be there, but that half an hour, 45 minutes of TV show, etc., social media, catching up with everyone. But if when it exceeds that, it's a sign that we're wasting a lot of our time. There's an app that you can download on your mobile, which is an eye-opener for you. And it was an eye-opener for me. Moment, M-O-M-E-N-T. It shows you how many hours you spend on your mobile. And I know it sounds scary, but it's scarier when you see like number 6, or number 5, or number 4 on your mobile. That you say, oh my God, I spent this much time. What else could I do with that 4 hours? What else could I do with that 3 hours? What could I achieve towards my dreams? So from now on, the first step for any change in our lives is awareness. Just be aware of where you are spending, which quadrant you're spending your time, that phone call that comes, that email that you're sending, how much of your time is you spend on quadrant 2. In one of the live workshops that I have a chiropractor lady who was telling me, I don't understand the difference between quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. And during the class, she was telling me that I want people to come to my clinic before having any injury, because for their spine alignment, which by the way, I have done a lot of chiropractic sessions with them, it's life-changing. I told her this is exactly the difference between quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. When we exercise, when we eat healthy, when we do our checkups, when we go to chiropractor once a month just to adjust our spine, it doesn't build up to the point that you do a wrong move and then you can't move anymore. So it's about maintaining everything rather than dealing with the crisis. I'm gonna apologize. I know it's the holy month of Ramadan that I'm drinking. I have a cold after coming back from South Africa, which is winter in South Africa. So my mouth gets dry very, very soon. So I apologize for those of you who are fasting that I'm drinking water. So the whole question is that, are we in control of our time, or does time control us? The last topic that I want to talk to you about is about energy management. And honestly, it's my favorite, because although we all have 24 hours in our day, our energy doesn't have any limits. And we can expand, we can achieve a lot more when we have a higher energy in our life. So there is a pyramid of energy that can show you the different levels of energy that we have in life. The first layer, the foundation of our energy, is physical. The second layer is emotional, mental, and spiritual. So the whole concept here is that sometimes we achieve something in 45 minutes, and some days the same task might take 2 hours. So what happened? The task is the same, and we spend a lot more time the second time because we are not at the right state of mind, because we don't have enough energy in order to perform the second task. So that is why energy is so important on a daily basis, to make sure that we are at the right level of energy. And this is something that is in our control. So even though time is not in our control, days, minutes, months come and go, whether we are conscious of them or not, energy is something that it's within our full control. And there are things that we can do at each layer in order to raise our energy. In the full day workshop, each layer takes around an hour to implement and understand the techniques that we can use. But for now, I'm just gonna touch up on some of them, and these are things you can do honestly from today. So physical is more about our eating right, eating healthy. It's not about losing weight. It's not about counting calories. So banana and Snicker might have the same amount of calorie, but which one gives us more energy? So everything that we want to consume, if we ask ourselves that, am I giving my body energy or am I taking away energy from it? Because, you know, digesting that, whatever that it is, it's gonna be a lot more energy. It will reduce energy from our body. So anything that you're consuming, or anything that you're eating, always have that energy in mind, not calorie, not whether it's going to make me thin or fat. Sleeping is very, very important. As a mother myself of 2 young children, I know that I haven't been able to sleep properly for the last couple of years. But again, it's all about awareness, knowing that, okay, I'm lacking, for example, proper sleep in my life. Where else can I invest in my physical energy? And what can I do? So when the kids are not around, we don't spend a lot of times on our mobile 2 hours before we sleep, take away from our sleep time. So there are steps that we can take in order to invest in our physical energy. Breathing exercises, they are very, very important for our physical energy. And exercising. Some people tell me I don't have time to exercise. And if you think about it, I want that paradigm shift that you are not exercising. It's not a luxury. You know, it's all about our priorities. And we say that for me to perform better in my life, for me to be at higher energy level with my kids, towards my business, I need to invest in my energy. There was a huge paradigm shift when I realized that my kids, my husband, my business, people around me, my friends, they all deserve the best version of me. They deserve that. And it is my responsibility to give them that best version. What's the point of them having stressed, overwhelmed Mona, who spends more time with them, but she's not somebody that you want to be around with? So it is absolute necessity and responsibility to do those 20 minutes of exercise or reading or whatever that raises your energy level higher in order to perform better in our life. So different things you can do. Make sure that you do at least 3 hours of exercise within a week, even if it is just 20 minutes of walk, whether it is 20 minutes of jog or going to anything, any sport that you like, but it's not really a luxury. We need it for our energy. And as you can see, physical is the foundation. We cannot focus, we cannot be completely emotionally engaged if we're overwhelmed, if we're stressed, if our physical energy is not in line. Emotional energy is our relationship with everyone around us, with our children, with ourselves, with our friends. And have you noticed that sometimes you're talking to somebody, our loved ones, they love us, so there's no hard feeling honestly there, but after talking to them, our energy is drained. It's like we need a whole box of chocolates to raise our energy. Those conversations, we need to be mindful of them. And sometimes we talk to a stranger and all of a sudden we feel more motivated, we feel inspired. So people and the relationships that we have, they can raise our energy or they can bring it down. We can't really cut our relationship with our loved ones who bring our emotional energy down, but it is our responsibility to take care of our emotional energy. We have to pick our battles. There are a lot of conversations that they are not worth arguing, or they're not worth trying to say that who is right or who is wrong, because that's not the point. We are consuming our emotional energy trying to prove a point which honestly might not matter. So it's just being mindful of what are those emotional relationships that what are those conversations or those relationships that bring our emotional energy high up and those that bring it down. Mental energy is sorry, mental energy is being able to focus, is being able to grow on a daily basis by reading. I highly recommend you from today, even if it is reading 5 pages of books, listening to audiobooks. I have this app Audible by Amazon, which is amazing. It makes traffics actually enjoyable. I don't mind traffics because I'm listening to my book. Audible by Amazon, you can download the app, you can download your favorite books, read 5 pages every day, 10 minutes, and then like minimum of 20 pages per day. So these are the tasks that we can do for our mental energy, the videos that we watch, the educational material, the courses that we take. I'm a huge fan of workshops and classes. At this given moment, I'm enrolled in 6 different courses, but they're all digital. So they gave me that flexibility to be able to do them at my own time. But it's about constantly learning and growing. And there's a difference when it comes to our mental energy between multitasking and switch tasking. Multitasking is healthy. Multitasking is when we are doing different things which are in line for the same goal. So we are, for example, if you want to write a book, you're writing your book on your laptop, you have music in the background, which helps your creativity. You're doing a research on the other laptop, you're reading your book. So yes, you're doing different things, but they all are in line within the same goal of writing your book. Switch tasking is when we're talking, some of you might do switch tasking now, you're sending your email, you're probably listening to me, and you're doing different things which have nothing to do with each other. We might in a short period of time achieve more, but in the long run, they bring our performance down. So it's important to focus 100% and bring all of our energy to one task that we're doing. Our spiritual energy it's not religious. It's not about your religion. It's not about, we all have different beliefs. So let's put that aside. It's about something bigger than ourselves. It's about our mission in life. Why are we here? What is it that we want to achieve? And our spiritual energy, it's usually in line with something bigger than ourselves. So physical, emotional, mental is about us. Spiritual is about that collective consciousness. It's about being one. It's about making a difference in this world, having that impact in this world, and being grateful for being here. The inner voices, the conversations that we have with ourselves, the faith that we have, the trust that we have. And there are different practices such as writing 3 things that we're grateful for at every night. So that's a gratitude journal that we can work on, or meditation, or praying, anything that takes us away from this world and makes us in line with our inner self is our spiritual energy. And this visual, as you can see, if you look at the circle with the green circle, which shows our time, when our energy expands, the bigger circle, the bigger pyramid, you feel that you actually have more time. Isn't that amazing? So yes, we all have 24 hours in our day, but when we invest in our energy, we can achieve a lot more in our day, and then we feel that we have more time in our day as well. So it's very important to take responsibility of the energy that we bring to this world, and nobody is responsible for our energy. Any conversations that we have, relationships that we have with others, we are responsible of how we react to anything that happens to us in our life. And as I said, it's very important to take that responsibility and be mindful of the energy that we bring to this world. This is the visual of showing the energy cone. It has a book around it. I personally haven't read the book, but it's my next read. So maybe next time I can tell you more about it. But even in this visual itself, don't worry about the numbers. Don't worry about trying to figure this thing out. One thing I want you to know is that emotions such as shame and guilt are at the bottom of this cone, energy cone, and they're in the suffering. So they're not serving us. If we go back to the law of attraction, that we attract the things that we want, we actually attract the things that we are, not the things that we want. So if we are spending a lot of time in shame and in guilt and in the negative energies, if you assume that everything in this world, including me, you, this laptop, technology, everything, money, everything is an energy. And all of us, we're vibrating at a certain frequency, depending on how we feel that day. Our frequency matches with the things that we want in life. But it has to be with our inner self. We have to be that vibrating at that frequency in order to be able to, sorry, I'm just gonna, I think there's a question. Yes, thank you, Bhavna. It's Power versus Force by Dr. David Hawkins. Yes. So Bhavna have read that book. This is the book, it's my next read. So he talks about the whole concept. If you're interested in the concept, you can read it, Power versus Force. Thank you for sharing that. I love the conversations. Please keep them coming. So a lot of women, especially, I know that we are spend a lot of time in shame and guilt. One way of me dealing with it was asking myself, does this feeling serve me? If the answer is no, if you can take any action, because sometimes the negative feelings, they make us do something. If they make us take action, wonderful, take the action, but then let it go. If the feeling is not helping you, if it's not serving you, what's the point of wasting our energy on that feeling? So as you can see, the energy of love and joy and peace and enlightenment are higher frequencies. And that's where we want to get in life. And that's where I just finished the book Flow, which is also a very interesting concept. We don't feel that we're forcing to get things. You feel that actually things are happening for you in a way that you wanted. When we invest in ourselves, everything happens from within. If there are anything in our outer world, in our external world that you are not happy with, instead of trying to fix that by force, if you go inside and say, what is it? What is the lesson that it has for me? What does that challenge want me to do? How can I grow? And what can I change internally in order to manifest a better reality for myself? Another concept when it comes to energy, that the 1 week of leadership that we had in South Africa, also we were talking about our feminine and masculine energies that I wanted to share with you. It's more like our right brain and left brain as well. I think this visual is a little bit blurry, but it's about yin and yang. So the whole point here is to make sure that each of us, regardless of our gender, whether we're male or female, we have a balance between our feminine and masculine energies. So feminine energies are more intuitive. It gives us that vision of what is it that we want in life. It's like heart. And masculine is our mind, it's analytical, it makes it happen. And masculine is also a bit more of I, it's individual. But feminine is more about community, it's about us. So none of them on their own, they will make it toxic, unhealthy. It's all about the harmony. I love the harmony and the balance, and that's the reason I have this necklace and the bracelet, because it reminds me of all the time having that harmony in our life and being mindful of all of our traits that will help us to have that harmony and balance in life. At the moment, where we are now, where we stand now in this world, we are toxic, unhealthy, masculine. There's a lot of I. We define success by power and money. We compete a lot. So competition is good, but when it is balanced, we need to inject more of a feminine energy into this world, all of us, male and female, in order to help each other, in order to support each other, in order to bring that balance and harmony into our life. So it is possible to have it all. And I hope that within this 1 hour, I managed to cover the topics or things that you can do from today in order to have that feeling of having it all. It all starts with identifying our values, our priorities, and our roles in life. The balance between our energies and being mindful of the energy that we bring to this world. Setting goals and every day taking steps towards those goals. And positive habits. Habits and rituals are very, very important. It's a huge section of the 2-day workshop, because a lot of times, again, losing weight, we know we want to lose weight, we put the goal, and it's not really that scientific. You eat less, you exercise, you lose weight, but still we don't do it. Why? It goes to our unconscious mind. So during the NLP, these are the techniques that I learned, that a lot of times we want to do something, we don't do it because we haven't believed it inside of us. A lot of money is another energy like that, that if we don't believe that we deserve something, it will not happen to us. So our habits and rituals are very, very important. That I didn't cover in this 1 hour workshop, but in this 1 hour webinar, but we have to set positive habits in order to achieve our goals. And at the end of the day, it's all about the journey. We are here, sometimes we forget that we are here on a limited time. All of us, our time will be over sometime. So we have been given the privilege of experiencing the human experience in this world now. And we have to take full advantage of it and achieve more and embrace the challenges to have a bigger impact in this world and enjoy the journey along the way. Some of these things that I mentioned might be common sense, but they're not common practices. So it's all about, even if you do one takeaway from this 1 hour webinar and say, okay, this is one change that I will do. This is, but it's exercising or being mindful of your emotions or managing your time better or putting smart goals, anything that it is, even if it is one thing that you start implementing it, then you are one step closer to your goals. I love this quote that says, life isn't about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. We are all here and we can create the best version of us. It is our responsibility to create that best version. My vision as a mother myself is to improve the quality of my life and the life of people around me, to create more empowered selves and raise more empowered children who are our future leaders. I have a personal story that I share, that I was raised during the wartime. And after some time of having, for 8 years, feeling that the other country is the enemy, the other country are the bad guys. And then I came to Dubai and I met a beautiful lady and I asked her, where are you from? And she said, from the other country. And all of a sudden, all the walls collapsed. I didn't need any statistics. I didn't need anybody to convince me. That human connection was for me so powerful that I realized that peace is possible when we just try to understand the other side. And we are at a point in this world that we need more of synergy between different people, between different nationalities, different countries, in order to understand each other better. And our children are our future leaders. When a mom tells me I'm just a mother, it really upsets me, because we are not just moms. We are raising the next generation. We are not just dads. We are role models to our kids. And these are our future decision makers. It's our responsibility to create the best version of ourselves in order to raise empowered children. All the chaos that is happening in this world today, I strongly believe that it's because that person who is a decision maker now, they did not have enough love in their family and in their environments. If we start by just giving love, bringing that harmony and balance into our life, into our families, our world will be at a much better place. And that's my vision. The reason I put the whole workshop together, the reason that we support entrepreneurship, is that with entrepreneurship, you can find that balance. Yes, it's very challenging. My fellow entrepreneurs can agree with me on that one. But at the very least, you're in full control of your life. And that's why we have entrepreneurship programs as well. So again, common sense is not common practice. These are the things that we cover during the full day workshop. This is a workshop preview, so some of you ask me about the workshop itself. So we identify in the 2 days, we identify your values, your roles, priorities, your limiting beliefs, what is it that's holding you back. After this, if you have any questions, you can type it and I will answer. Your goals, what's the action plan, what's your vision board, where do you want to go, having accountability partner, and we're digitalizing the whole course because I have fellow moms and dads and entrepreneurs who are in different countries. So everything will be online and everybody will be able to access it. We did one workshop last month and The testimonials that we received, they were amazing. I think because everything comes from my heart, I managed to touch their heart, which I'm very grateful for. But as Ellie says, it's not really about theory. There are all practices that you can do every day. Asmar, I was very blessed when she says that this was the best course that she has ever taken. Natalie, she had an excellent experience. Eva, that she said, again, it's about practicing different things. I like the theory is one thing, but I'm more of what is that change that I can make into my life now. So the next in-person training workshop that we have is June 20th and 21st from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. in Dubai. So if you're not in Dubai, apologies. We have to wait for the digital course that will be live in July 2017. And we'll have a private Facebook group together. For my founding members, the people who are joining, the 50 people that are joining us, first, we are also having a 1-hour session via Skype or in-person training together where we sit down and we finalize the templates or your habits, your rituals, what is it that you want in your life. The investment for the workshop is $497. For founding members, I'm not a big fan of discounts because I believe that the energy of discounts brings down the value, but only for our founding members, we're giving 20% discount, which makes it $398. The digital course will be also $497. To conclude, if you have any questions, for those of you who have my number, you can WhatsApp, email, you can stay here, we will talk together more. But in general, investing in yourself is the best investment you will ever make. It will not only improve your life, it will improve the lives of those around you. And I strongly believe in that. This quote is by Robin Sharma. And that is something that I have been doing since February 2013, when I realized that, let me close this. Yeah, when I realized that whatever that I'm doing in life, if I don't invest enough time and energy in myself, nothing really means anything when I'm not happy. So it's our responsibility to spend time, money, energy in ourselves in order to be able to be with, our best version with other people. I think there was a question. We will be in Dubai. Okay, thanks, Alex. That's awesome. If you can join us from Bahrain on 21st, well, it's a 2-day workshop. You have to do both because on the 20th is the day that we sit down and we write that vision. What is it that you want in your life? And on 21st, we work on your rituals. I did this workshop as a 1-day, one time, and at 4 p.m., everybody was telling me, Mona, enough, our mind is shutting us too much information. So that's why we break it down. They can have that couple of hours in between where we talk about we are responsible for our life, taking accountability, being in the driving seat of our life and not being a victim, because nothing good comes out of being a victim. Actually, being a victim is the easiest solution because, well, we can't do anything about it. It happened to us and we are not in charge. But when you go with the mindset of, you know what, I am the only one responsible for my life. I am the only one who can create the life that I want. When you go with that kind of a mindset, it is more challenging. I'm not telling you it's easier because there's a lot more hard work, but also we live in a life that with our own terms. And that's when we feel in line with our values and in peace with ourselves, because we know that we are the creators of our lives. It's 4:13. If you guys have any questions about any of the topics, let me unmute you. You can just raise your hand. Okay, it's better to mute you because there's a lot of noise. But if any of you have any questions, you can raise your hand. I can unmute you. You can also type your questions here if you have any questions. And if not, hope seeing some of you next week or during the digital course that we're launching in July. And thank you for being a part of my journey. Thank you for listening to me, and I'm really honored to be able to be a part of your journey as well. Thank you so much. Any questions? If not, thanks for coming and see some of you soon.
More about the
Okay. There's a question about the workshop. There's a full page that we will send to all of you. It has all the information about the workshop itself, about the 2-day workshop, what you will learn, and the digital course. As I mentioned, I'm enrolled in 6 different courses at the moment. They're all digital and they help me, whether for my business or for my own self-mastery, as I call it, to learn. They're very flexible. I mean, when you're doing a digital course, it's very easy to do it within your own times. But the first thing I teach is goal setting, because some people, they don't even finish the course. So it's important to be able to do each module and finish it by the end of the session. That's it really from my side. Alex, I hope to see you and Karine and your children soon on 21st of June, and all of you and everybody else as well. Looking forward to seeing you at one of our workshops or in our office. The domain name, yes. We will email it to you, but it is monatawassil.com/haveitall, where you can find all the information. Okay, if there's no any other question, I say goodbye to all of you and thank you again. I hope you enjoyed. Please share your feedback with me. Tell me what you loved the most and what you wanted more explanation, which topics didn't really make sense. So for the next webinars, we can work on that as well. I would really appreciate your feedback and your values. Thank you very much and have a beautiful day. Bye.